Sports Matters TV.
Eddie, it's been a while, my man. We hope you're well. And finally, some good news. Turning point, November 20th, Las Vegas. Eddie Edwards versus Moose. The fans have called. They've been answered. The match is happening. Great news, Eddie. What do you think of the match so far? It's obviously good times for you.
Yeah, man. It's obviously it's a good time for me. I'm just it's all building up to turning point. It's how I go through my career. You wait for these, you build up for these moments and these goals. And, step one was to obviously win the number one contendership. And step two is take it to Moose and bring back that world title for a third time. That's always the goal. Always.
Definitely. And we know you've won it twice, you know what I mean? 2 prestigious titles, obviously an X Division champion, many tag team championships. You're used to the gold, Eddie. You're used to the gold. So look, it's nothing new. It's obviously been a long time coming. And there's no doubt you're confident going into this match.
Yeah, I am used to the gold, and that's sometimes the problem. I know what it's like to get to the top of the mountain, and then I know what it feels like to lose that title. And I know what Moose is going through. Moose just won that world title for the first time. I was there. I've been through that. I know what he's feeling. I know his emotions. I know where his head's at. I know what's going through his mind right now. There's a lot of pressure on him to deliver. And for me, going to the turning point, I'm the underdog. And I consider myself always the underdog. Whether I've been a champion, 20 times or it'd be my first time. I'm the underdog, and that's how I treat it, and that's how I treat myself. So I go in there. I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna lay it all out there. Moose, he has everything to lose. He could be one of the shortest reigning champions of all time. He's the one that's fought his whole career. He left pro football to get to this moment, and he could lose it just like that. And I would love to be the man to put him in the history book as one of the shortest reigning champions ever.
Speaking of Moose, any animosity towards Moose? Look, Moose he's been around a long time. Look, he's been, loyal to Impact. There's been back and forth exchanges between you both. What's your take on Moose in general? Do you like the guy or don't you like the guy? It's.
I guess it depends on what day of the week it is or what time of year it is, really. Obviously, as far as Impact Wrestling, me and Moose, we have a long history. We've done these battles before. We've gone toe to toe, and I can admit that I've seen Moose grow as a pro wrestler. I've seen him from the first day he walked into Impact Wrestling and actually walked into my match. The first time he showed up in the Impact Zone, and I've seen him since day one to what he's becoming. There's no denying that he has evolved. He has stepped up his game each and every time he goes into the ring. And for that's something that, you have to applaud. You have to give recognition to. But, and then there's also the history of, everything that's happened with me and him and, obviously involving Alicia and all that stuff, that we have a lot of animosity. So, there's no love lost going into this match, which, I think it helps raise those stakes, because whether this would be just a regular straight up match, same thing, no love lost. We're going into it. I'm leaving it all out there. But the fact the world title is on the line, that increases it just a little bit more, if that was even possible. It gives that little prize of what I want to get to. But the fans, everybody in Impact roster, everybody in the wrestling world, we've all seen what Moose has done, and he has really proved himself to be a man worthy of the championship. Now, is he worthy to hold it? We'll wait and see, because there's a big responsibility, and I know that firsthand. And especially the first time you get that title, something changes, and there's a lot of pressure on you, whether you put it on yourself or you're getting it from everybody outside. It happens, whether you try to deny it or you admit it. It happens.
No, I love it, Eddie. Now, Eddie, what a time for the wrestling fan. What a time for the journalists, the wrestlers. Wrestling's in a great place at the moment. We're seeing so much. Impact is top of the pile. Making noise every week. Impact Plus, big on YouTube, all the rewinds. Obviously, Impact fans have a lot to look forward to, but being on the Impact roster, Eddie, it's a great time. Obviously, you're loving all things Impact.
It's a remarkable time. Obviously the whole, saying the forbidden door has been whatever broken. Now that's been said and that's been done, but the fact that each and every week on Impact, you really don't know who's going to show up. We had Rocky Romero on last night. A guy who's traveled the world. He's been doing it forever. And he's at the top of his game. And obviously Minoru Suzuki, which didn't work out too well for me, but I'm looking forward to Josh Alexander versus Minoru Suzuki. That's a match that, again, I feel like anytime I do an interview, I'm saying like a couple of years ago, if you said this was going to happen, I wouldn't believe you. And here I am saying it again, that Suzuki versus Alexander, that's a match that I never thought I would see, and it's a match that I'm glad and I'm very happy that I'm going to be able to see.
No, I agree. Now, look, Eddie, I don't mean to speculate rumours and talk shite, how we say here in Ireland, but look, the rumour mill's a crazy thing. For fans, it's beautiful. We had the Forbidden Door. It's still kind of there. I'd like to see you fight Omega. I'd like to see you fight Bryan Danielson. You know what I mean? I'd like to see you fight many great guys, because any name you put to Eddie Edwards, it's a great match. But look, what's your take on Omega? What's your take on the Forbidden Door? What's your take on Bryan Danielson and perhaps a potential match there?
Yeah, the whole Forbidden Door, it's great. It's open. The fact that there's so much, cohesiveness and wrestling companies working together, it's remarkable. I've never seen it before. It's always been, us versus them or them versus them. It's never been working together. So the fact that, we're able to do this and able to even speculate on, chances of seeing these matches, it's a great thing. And, obviously I'd love to face Omega. We had a 6-man match on Impact, and, we're able to go toe-to-toe a little bit. But, I'd love to go one-on-one with him just because, again, there's no denying how great he is. The matches that he's had and the performances he's had, it's unreal. He goes out there and he gives us all, and he has these great matches. And I would love to be in there with him and really see, what it's like, really see if it's for real, really see what he's capable of doing, because I've seen it from the outside. I've seen it and felt it a little bit in the 6-man, but to be in there and be able to go, all right, you guys, you're the main event, go out there, like, see what you can do. I would love to do that. And, there's also a personal pride, and there's also history behind it where, he was obviously big in New Japan. He was New Japan IWGP champion. I was Pro Wrestling Noah, the GHC champion. We had very similar career paths for a bit, and we seemed to cross paths here and there. But, for two guys who've been doing it for so long, we never got in the ring together for that one-on-one match. So that's one that I would love to have, no doubt about it. And, Bryan Danielson, what more can you say about him that hasn't been said? No, there's no doubt about it. He's one of the best to ever do it. And also, I was able to wrestle with him in Pro Wrestling Noah, in Ring of Honor, and, numerous indies. We've had a few matches here and there. And, first and foremost, he's one of the best guys in the world of pro wrestling. One of the nicest guys, one of the best personalities in the locker room to have, because, again, a guy who's been doing it so long at such a high level, he's going out there and he wants to have that match. He wants to have that go all out, put pro wrestling out there in the ring and represent pro wrestling for what it is. Again, I would love to do that with Bryan Danielson. It's been ages since we've done it, and I love to test myself against a man of his caliber in my career right now and see where he's at, and just kind of, throw some bombs, hit each other, kick the hell out of each other, kick the shite out of each other. I'm down for that anytime. So, again, keep that Forbidden Door open, keeps me happy, keeps the fans happy. And the matches, the possibilities are endless.
Definitely. Well, Eddie, look, as you said, we never speculate, right? But look, there's a lot of free agents at the moment. I'm only going to mention 3 names, look, because everyone's linked to Impact. Impact is the hottest brand in the world right now. I'm going to mention 3 names by the names that the fans will know. Keith Lee, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. All I want to know is, Eddie Edwards, would you welcome them to Impact, and would you happily give them a rude awakening? 3 names. You don't have to go into detail, but would you welcome them?
I'd be happy to. I'm happy that Impact Wrestling is a destination in pro wrestling. There was, there's years where, Impact Wrestling was like, people wouldn't talk about it. People, for some reason, there was a negative connotation behind it where, people didn't think they wanted to go to Impact. But now at this point, we have so many people who come in and you hear through the grapevine, through the world of pro wrestling, because in this world, it's telephone, telegram, telewrestler. That's how news gets out. That's how news goes around. And you hear these positive reviews, and people, people are happy. They couldn't be happier by the time they spend in Impact Wrestling. So I'm happy to open that door. Have anybody come in who wants to come in. If they want to be a part of Impact Wrestling, that's who I want on our roster. Come through that door if you want to be a part of Impact. If you believe in what Impact Wrestling is doing, come on over, join the fun, and see what it's all about. And I'm happy to go toe to toe. And as you said, give a bit of a rude awakening to anybody who might not want to be here. I will show anybody the door. I'm happy to do that as well.
I love it, brother. Now, look, we have to mention, like, fans are back, Eddie. Look, we waited so long to have the fans back. Things are looking up in the UK. In Ireland, we're finally back. We're back on the right track. But look, European tour, Impact perhaps coming next year to Europe. You're going to come to the pub with me. We're going to take you around Cork, Dublin. We owe Simon some favours as well at Impact. But look, obviously that's something the roster wants. European tour, back to the UK, back to Ireland. Are you going to push to make it happen? Are you going to say it to the boss man and all the guys, look, make it happen?
Bro, I say it anytime anybody brings it up, anytime there's talk about, getting back on the road and travel again, which, we're able to do in the States now, which is great. We have our fans back. But there's so much history for me in the UK, in Ireland. I have family, I have cousins who live in Ireland. I've been to Ireland. I would love to go to the pub, get some Guinness, go around, have a good time. That's what I want to do. And there's so much history where, myself and Davey Richards, we debuted on the European tour. That's the history that I have for Impact Wrestling. And me and Davey, we created the American Wolves because of Wolverhampton, England. So there's so much rich history of pro wrestling in the UK and Ireland and Europe altogether. There were such great times when Impact would travel abroad. We had a great time. Every time I was there, it was a blast. And I love seeing the fans that they wanted, because there's no doubt in my mind that the roster wants it. Speaking firsthand for myself, and I can speak for the rest of the roster. We want to be there. We want to make it happen. It's bound to happen at some point. Just fingers crossed. Let's hope we continue going the way we are and we're able to get it done soon, man.
I love it, Eddie. Last of all, just a quick one from the fans. Look, we always do it. Eddie, who's that dream opponent? He could be past, present, perhaps the future. But look, if there's one guy you could wrestle, past, present, who would it be?
Oh, man, that's such a tough question. But, off the top of my head, if I'm thinking about guys who have meant so much to Impact Wrestling, Kurt Angle, obviously, one of the best to ever do it. Somebody who has so much history in TNA and Impact. That's a match that, again, we were at Impact at the same time. We never got to have that singles match again. We did a 6-man, but that's one that I would love to have. And there's so many names that I could put on the list, but that's one that kind of comes right to mind right away.
Oh, we love it. Eddie, listen, we'll see you next year. Hopefully that European tour happens. We're taking you away with us for a couple of hours. We're going to get you drunk, have a great time. And listen, we all adore you here in Ireland. All the best at Turning Point, November 20th. Viva Las Vegas. We'll catch you soon, my man. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.